Hi everybody, Hubby here with Just About Anything Garage. Hey, I wanted to take a minute to show you something. This is my Chevy 1964 C30. We're going to do a project on that. You're going to find out about that really fast here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to show you us trying to get it to start and run so we can pull it off and drive it around, because we want it mobile around here. But I wanted to take a second to show you something real quick, doing a little pre-work on that, not necessarily recording everything, but I thought I'd show you this to let you know what's going on. And we kind of ran into a problem where the prior owners had broken nuts off with respect to the distributor on the cap, so the cap wouldn't stay down, so we're not getting good clean spark out of it, so we had to fix it. So one of the issues we had was they broke off two bolts, okay, and one bolt on one side of it they had broken off with respect to the excuse me, the top of it, and they broke it off above the service case. So what we did there, because it's an aluminum case, I just took my good old regular flux core. I have two welders here, but I took my flux core, my Lincoln Electric flux core, and I just popped a little weld on top. I don't know if you can see that real well, but we popped it on there, put a little ball on it, and I was able to heat up the casting and turn it out. But I've got another problem here, and I know you really probably can't see it. On the other side of it, it broke off in the middle, and I could probably do that trick again, but I'm a little concerned with it because the weld, if there's rust in it, may stick to that, and we could end up stripping some of the things out. So we're going to take a different approach with that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to drill, and we're going to tap that out and see if we can't get this fixed. So I'm not going to film it because it's just a pain in the butt to do at that point, but I'll show you the results of it when we come back. And I'm not sure if I'll post this as just a quick short, or if it'll be included. Well, it'll certainly be included when we go through and we show you how we're trying to get it to run. So hang tight, and we'll show you where things are going with that, and we'll be back with the results of that in a little bit. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we're back, and we've done the drilling and we've done the tapping, and here we go. Here's the results. You can see that the cap's on there. We've got two new threaded holes in there. Everything's going to work. So we just wanted to update you on that. Both processes work. In one case, we welded on the top of the bolt that was broken off on the top. We're able to turn it out. In the other case, we drilled it out and we tapped it, and that worked perfectly as well. So we saved this distributor. So we'll go ahead and we're going to get everything set up, and pretty soon you're going to see us see if we can get this thing started and running. So just a little quick on how to do that. Don't be afraid to tackle it. You guys can handle it. We appreciate it, and look for that video. It's coming up real soon. Thanks a lot. Hi everybody. It's a beautiful yet cloudy morning here in Agawam. This is Hubby with Just About Anything Garage, and I thought I'd take you on a little journey of what we're doing here. As usual, I was doing some stuff off camera just to try and get things preset, and of course things go sideways. So guess what? You guys get to see how I correct the sideways stuff. So let me tell you what we're doing here, and we'll take a look and see how we can fix that. I have here for you my 1964 Chevy C30 extended bed. It's 157 inch wheelbase. And we have a very specific thing in mind that we're going to do for this. What we're going to do is we're going to make it a custom tow vehicle with some pretty unique and interesting features on it. All right, so what we're trying to do right now is we just want to see if we can get the motor running, so we can get it moving around the yard and get it off the trailer and all that type of stuff. So if you'll just come along with me, we'll tell you about what we're going to do, and I'll talk a little bit here about what I've already attempted to do and what it's led to, and we'll work it together and see what we can do. So what we got going here is I wanted to just go ahead and clean a couple of things up, things that you've seen 100,000 times on YouTube channels that you didn't necessarily have to see, and let some interesting things that we need to do. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to turn the light on here. So yeah, there we go. Maybe we can see what we're doing in here. It has a straight 6. It's the 230 straight 6, and it's got a 4-speed in it. clutch has got a lot of free play in it, so we'll have to play with that. But what we were trying to do here is basically get things running. It's got very small cables. When you put this on and you crank it, and it does crank, you get smoke coming out the cable. So I'm replacing the cables and stuff. The other thing that we were doing was checking to make sure that we had spark. We discovered that the distributor had an issue where, and I'll insert because I've already covered that, where they had broken the screws off down below so the cap wouldn't sit on completely and fully. But one of the things that I did do that we need to correct is I attempted to get that nut off of that starter right there, and we broke the phenolic cap doing it because I torqued it sideways. Doing dumb, stupid stuff. So we're gonna have to pull that starter off, and I do happen to have another Bendix, so we can probably switch that out. The other thing that we needed to correct here is they had put the grounding cable onto the housing for the thermostat, and as you can see, we broke off one of the studs in there. So we're going to have to pull this off, get some heat and some penetrating fluid in there, and see if we can't take our vice grips and jiggle that around and get that corrected. We'll bring you on that. We'll see how that goes. And then just the general stuff, see if we can't get it to pop. If we can get it to pop, we'll then see if we can't get it to run. If we can get it to run, we'll see if we can't get it to drive and get it so we can move around. So hang in there. We'll update you as things come along. I got to get set up with that, and so hopefully we'll have some moving 1964 C30 pickups for you coming along. All right, we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, I'm back for an update on the C30. We pulled out the starter. It's right here, and as you can see, I did quite a job on it when I was trying to get the bolt off. Cracked the case right here, right off of it. And you can see partially why it probably wasn't conducting real well. That's real dirty. That's the contactor plate that when it pulls up, it, hey, come on, light. That it makes contact, and it's pretty filthy, which is probably part of the reason why it hasn't been doing current. So the other thing that we got over here is, this is the starter that I have on hand. It comes off of another 6-cylinder. It's different though than the 230. I believe this is off like a 265 or something, but the Bendixes are the same size. So we're gonna see if we can't switch the Bendixes out and see if we can't get it working, test it all out and see how things go, clean it up a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I will be back to you guys again once we got it done, and we'll show you the results of that. All right, appreciate it. Okay, it's update time. We've gone ahead and we've gotten the starter all set up so that we can use it actually after breaking off the cap pieces. I'm going to show you here. So I climb up onto the C30. What we did was we switched the Bendix out. I had another starter that was off of a 6-cylinder, and I'll show it to you here. They're pretty easy to do actually. You just need to pull the 2 bolts here, the power pin that comes in here, and then you rotate it like this and just pull it right off, and it'll come right off. You can put a new Bendix back on, rotate it, put the screws back in, and you're all set. I had to clean up connections here a little bit, but it does go ahead and turn. We'll see if we'll do that without me frying things here. Bouncing around. There we go. So the starter does work, and we're ready to go ahead and put it back in, get the rewiring done so that we can get this baby turned over and maybe get it crawling around on the ground. We'll see that. We'll keep updating you as we get things done. If we get into something really interesting that we're doing, I'll go ahead and I'll fire up the camera on my own. So and my tripod is not with me currently, but we'll get that and we'll show you some of this stuff firsthand that you want to see. But definitely we'll show you the things that we have done, and once we get it running, we'll show you riding it around. All right, appreciate it. Hang in there, we'll be back in a bit. All right, so hi there, beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a couple days later. I'm going to give you an update on the C130. If you remember, we had some problems. We're trying to get it started and run, so maybe we can drive it around here. Oh, let me step up like this. We'll give you an update of what we got done here, and we'll move on from there and see if we can't get this baby to fire up. Now, I did some cheating here off camera, so I got a charger here that's giving me an error message, and it was making noise, so it could be doing. But anyways, what we basically had here, if you remember the last one we had, we showed you that we had switched to Bendix on the starter and made sure that that was operating. So we got the starter, as you can see down in there, back installed. We've also done some new power cables to it and cleaned everything up so that we know that this thing will run. If you remember, we had an issue with the distributor right here where they had broken off the bolts and thing, but we got that fixed. In my effort to try and get this running here, we discovered that the points weren't very good, so I hadn't had a new set of points with it, but we did find a set that was in the truck that I cleaned up and put in, and it's helped quite a bit to go ahead and get this thing going. So let's go ahead and get stuff out of the way here, and we'll see if we can't get this thing fired up and going. We're gonna have to go in and get some stuff to get this rocking and rolling, but we'll go ahead and we'll give it a crank over. We'll see if it can run. Fuel is an issue, of course, because you have no idea the status of the fuel pump. So I have a life support system here. I'll show it to you. Oh, it's heavy because it's full of gas that I've created. And basically, it didn't cost me a lot to do this because I had most of the parts. But here's my life support system. It's just basically a 1.5 tank, couple filters, a clickety-clack. I did get it's run off of my DeWalt power batteries. I did get this off of Amazon, and then I just run it into a relay to make sure that we can go ahead and switch it on and everything. And it provides plenty of fuel. As a matter of fact, we got a little fuel leak there. So what we'll do is let's go in and get a battery for that into the shop here, and we'll go ahead and we'll kick it over. And I've cheated a little bit, so I do know that it fires. We got it to go ahead and do that, but let's see if we can't get it to maybe run a little bit. This thing is being difficult. Stop it. Talking to myself here, trying to get my door open. Let's see if we can get that done. Here we go. We'll go ahead and get a battery. We'll pop it on that. We'll turn it on. We'll crank it up a little bit, and we'll see what happens and see if we can't get that thing firing up and maybe run a little bit. I think we're going to have to probably do a couple things in terms to really make it run, but really trying to steal a battery off of it. Then we'll just grab a fresh one. How's that? Out of the charger, which is a little bit easier to do. And we'll pop it in there and see if that thing won't go ahead and fire up. We got other stuff going in. You'll catch on other videos here, like for example getting that lift in. We've got everything set up for that. We're getting ready to go ahead and get that first column set up and see what happens there. So let's go ahead and put our battery supply on this. Make sure this isn't going to fall off if it does fire up. Go ahead and turn it on. I don't know if you can hear it running, but it's pumping fuel into that. Yep, and I'm going to turn it off because we got a full bowl there. It's starting to drip out. I can see it. You don't want it to run away. So let's go ahead and pop in here and we'll see if we can't get some magic going on this thing. Let's pull the choke. Make sure that we can get a little fuel. Oh, look at that. We got some firing going on. Although, it's dying. May have used the fuel in the bowl. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see if it'll fuel any farther. At least they didn't burn. I noticed that I left the ignition on last night. Let that pump a little bit while we're doing it. See if it'll fire up. We got the choke set. See if she'll start, or at least kick out. You know what? I've seen this before. The ignition's not wired correctly. Whoa, a little backfire there. Because when I let go of the key, it dies. And what that's telling me is that somebody's got this sucker miswired up, so that when you release the key, you're losing voltage on the coil. So we'll have to make a jumper and jump it over, and we'll see what happens there. But we'll be back when we do that. So let's go ahead and do a couple things, and then we'll be back and we'll show you what we did. All right, appreciate it. Hang tight. All right, so we're back with another update. Okay, so what happened was everything was set all right with the ignition. What happened is the bolt on the distributor had loosened up because we had to take it out to go ahead and fix that problem, and it was not advanced enough to go ahead and get it started, so we had to rotate it back to where it was. So let's go ahead and I'll show you that it does indeed run. It's got to be tuned up, of course, but let's go ahead and fill that full fuel bowl up with some fuel. Let it run till it drips a little bit, just like that. Okay, and then we don't have to use the remote starter. We can go ahead and we can use the starter from inside the truck. I'll show you that it should start up and run. Here we go. There we go, she's running. Not well, but running. We have oil pressure, as you can see right there. Good strong oil pressure. Some fuel in the tank. All right, so she needs to be tuned up for sure. We'll get her reliably running here. We'll do a little work on her, and then we'll come back and we'll show you what we got. But she's a runner. She wants to run. We're also going to have to go ahead and fix the cooling and put water in it. That'll probably be next to that. And let me show you, if you remember, pulled this off to do the ground. They had the ground sitting here, and we broke the bolt off. We got some there's probably some leaks going on in some of the gaskets, but keep in mind that we're not keeping this motor in it for the project that we're going to do with this. And I know you don't know a lot about the project, but I want to get it to the point where we can roll around if we can. So we're going to go ahead and lube the living daylights out of that and go ahead and see if we can't heat it up and get it out of there, and we'll get the thermostat and some water in there, and we'll see what happens. So we'll be back when we get to that point. I'll show you us extracting it so you can see how we did it. So appreciate it, and we'll be back. Hang tight. Well, hi there. How are you guys doing? I thought we'd do a quick update. This is Hubby with Just About Anything Garage. We're going to do an update on the C30 project that we've been talking about and going over. Just to tell you where we're at. And at the last point, we showed you that we had gotten it running, and then it was doing okay in that. It still needs to be tuned up. It's in pretty good shape, but we've improved a couple things here, and we'll tell you what we're going to do next and how we're going to proceed from that point to see if we can get it done. We've gone ahead and we've gotten some water in the radiator. It seems to be holding it. It seems to be circulating. We fixed the water pump. If you remember, we had a broken bolt, so we fixed that, and we got that all back together with a thermostat in it and everything. We're going to go and we're going to do a tune-up on it. I've got plugs, I got wires, I got cap, I got a new points for it, condenser. So we'll switch all that out and see if we can't get running well. It does start, it does run. It idles on high, but it likes to die on occasion. So we're going to go see if we can't remedy that and get it running. We also made an adjustment on the clutch. So now that the clutch is working, we should be able to move it and drive it. So we'll be seeing that come up real quick. We're going to do the work on that, and then we'll show you the outcome. The other thing that we did, if I can get underneath here, let's get underneath and put the camera on it. Underneath here, we went ahead and we put a cherry bomb muffler on it and run a pipe back, so we quieted down. It was quite loud. It does have a little leak on the exhaust manifold. We're not going to worry about that, because if we do, we're going to end up breaking bolts, and we don't want to have to deal with those bolts. So next order of business is going to be getting it tuned up, see if we can't get it to run and work on idle. And then once we do that, we'll get it off and we'll see if it'll move around. We can shift it into gear with the clutch. We can take it out of gear. It disengages and everything. It was just really sloppy, and we just had to clean it up and tighten up, so we did that. So that's an update on that. We'll go ahead and make those changes, and we'll be back as soon as we have them done, and we'll show you the results of it. All right, we'll see you here shortly. Well, hi there everybody. It's time for another update. It's been a couple of days here since we talked about the C30 and what we did, and I'm going to show you what it morphed into. You ready? There it is. It morphed into a Ford 600. No, it didn't. What happened was, if you recall, we were getting it to run. We had fixed the clutch so it would get motioned, and we were able to get it to run and pull it in, so I was just reparking my F600. Anyways, we're going to go ahead in, and I'm going to show you. We've gotten it into the shop here. Let me give you a little look from the back. I don't know if you can see her in there, but it looks pretty dark, but there she is. She's been pulled into the shop area so that we can do a little bit more work on her. She runs not great. It's running on high idle. She's running as if she's lean, so I have to run the choke to get it richened up a little bit. So that's what we were doing here. Let me show you what we did do in order to get these things going here. What we did was, like I had talked about, we had I'm going to turn this light on as well. We had, stay on. Sorry, the lighting's being difficult here. We had changed cap, rotor, wires, plugs, all that type of stuff. I do believe, if you recall, I had taken the distributor out in order to fix the screws that had been broken off in the cap. And I think we're about a tooth off on the gear because it wants to have more timing put in it. And I've got it as advanced as I can in the position it is. So we're going to pull that out. We're going to pull the tooth around, get it reestablished like that. We're going to go ahead and, with the carburetor, I put this on here because it was popping a little bit. Didn't want to make any fire. So let's go ahead and pull the air cleaner off real quick. It's got a standard Rochester B carburetor on it, like most 230s do of this era. You can see it right there. What we're going to do is we're going to throw a little rebuild kit at it. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, a little rebuild kit. Well, we're going to clean it up and see if we can get it to run a little better. I want to keep it and get it so I can reliably move it around the shop in here. So why do we have it in the shop? Well, we want to get under and we want to do the assessment on it. Because what we're going to do, I'll fill you in, and then we're going to do, just like if you're following the Ghost project, we did a planning video to tell you what we're going to do. I'll do one for this too, but the short on this is we're going to turn this into a custom tow vehicle, a very special, with some unique features to it. So basically I can tow whatever I want, and one of the features we're going to do is we're going to put a roll back on it to carry cars around. Basically, to carry the Ghost project at some, so I can take it to other things and I can showcase 2 cars at a time. Not that Ghost is going to be a trailer queen. She isn't going to be a trailer queen at all. She's going to be a driver. But I want to go ahead and make a custom tow vehicle, and it's going to have some unique features. So you'll get to see us doing that on the C30, and then we'll do a summary of it and show you some really cool things that we have planned for that. But first thing we're going to do is an assessment, see what we got, make sure that we can do what we want, and get all the planning done, figure out what we need for parts for this, and we'll give you up to date. And I owe you a drive around video on this because I just drove it in without bringing you along. Once we get it running a little better, we'll drive it around a little bit as part of our assessment, and we'll make sure we'll bring you in on that. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on that, and we'll continue to throw little updates at you. I'm going to go ahead and combine and get this series out to you. So this will probably be the last one for that, and then we'll start a whole new series of little updates as we go ahead and we get to planning and we do the project for the vehicle. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you looking at this. Do all that jazz for me if you would. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate you guys. And we'll be coming at you with some more good stuff. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.